Hello, YouTube viewers and Transformers fans of all ages. This is the TFNG coming to you with what will hopefully be a quick and successful live stream video. I apologize for that tapping sound. My computer froze me for a split second there. So the main focus of this video is it's a review on the Transformers Generation Selects Target Store RedCard exclusive Voyager class toy of Decepticon Red Wing. Now, normally I try to do live stream videos around 8:30 at night where I live in California, so 8:30 Pacific time. The reason I'm starting an hour later is because I had to help my family get ready for bed. So this will be a late night live stream review. Kato's Toy Box, welcome. Okay, so before we get into the actual video, I have a couple of announcements. So, first of all, on Saturday, and Autocorrect Primer and his wife Nikki did a video covering this. But apparently Amazon decided to send out to people who have membership with Amazon.com, known as Amazon Prime. They decided to send them a advertising magazine showing all the toys that they're offering for the Christmas shopping season for the current year 2019. So one thing you do get as far as having a prize is you get a sticker sheet here between pages. It's pages 17 and 16 of the book, and Autocorrect Primer and Nikki, when they in their video review, that sticker down there, this one, for some reason it was missing from them. So Autocorrect Primer and Nikki, there's that sticker you're missing for you. In case you're wondering what it was, it's a palm tree with Christmas lights wrapped around it, and towards the base there's a Christmas box with the Amazon's smiling logo on it. Alright, so yes, apparently, if you've been a regular shopper for Amazon.com, then this past week you got one of those advertising magazines in the mail. David Hill, welcome. Another announcement I wanted to make is that I purchased a Transformers toy from Amazon over the weekend, and it is the Transformers Generation 6 Deluxe Class Autobot Lancer. So I'm really happy to have her. I can now complete my all-female Autobot combiner, which is made up from Team Alita 1. And the combiner's name is Orthea, and apparently Orthea's name comes from a Greek goddess from ancient Greek mythology. So I haven't looked too much into it, but it was mentioned on TFW2005.com. So yes, I'm really happy to have Lancer. Out of all the deluxe class toys in the Generation 6 line, Lancer has been the one that's been the hardest. She's the one that's been going for the highest price compared to the other deluxes, such as Smokescreen, Hotshot, Nightbird, the two Power Dashers, Chromar and Zatar. And I don't know if it's because Lancer has the added play value of being a combiner. Some Transformers fans who, when they managed to get a hold of Lancer the first time she was released, which was, I want to say, between 3 to 4 months ago, some people were saying that Lancer was suffering from mold degradation, and that because the only retooled part Lancer had compared to the other female Autobots that she's mold mates with, Moonracer, Nova Star, Greenlight, and also Chromium and Nightbird. But apparently the only retooled parts between Lancer and the other Autobot she's repainted and retooled from are a different head sculpt and some slightly and a new torso mold, I believe. But there's nothing really new to Lancer. What's making her unique is the fact that she's a combiner for Alita 1's team, and she is in fact based on one of the female Autobots who appeared in the Generation 1 cartoon alongside Alita 1 as a member of her team. Kato's Toy Box, he's popping in before he goes to sleep, eat from exhaustion. David Hill says he's doing the same thing, so I apologize for doing this video late so late that you guys are getting ready for bed. David Hill is asking me, do I have Chromio or Nightbird to use as a blaster for Thea? I don't have Nightbird. I've been debating about whether or not if I should get her or not. Not because I used most of my Transformers money for the month getting Lancer, and also getting last weekend I got the Rainmakers David Hill. So the money I have left, I'm trying to see if I can use it for other things. So I don't know if I'll be buying any more Transformers toys for the month. I pre-ordered 8-Face from Amazon, and according to Amazon, 8-Face is going to be the first Wave 4 Siege toy to be sent out. out, and so supposedly Eight Face is going to be released this month in November. However, according to Amazon, Astro Train won't be coming until December, and then the two deluxe class toys in Wave. I just kept saying Wave 4. It's actually Wave 5 of the Siege line. According to Amazon.com, the two deluxe class toys, Spinister and Crosshairs, they won't be released until New Year's Eve, so they won't arrive until January of next year, 2020. And to be honest, the last time I pre-ordered some Transformers toys from Amazon, and they said they were coming on a certain date, those two toys I ordered were Impactor and Mirage, and originally Amazon was going to ship them out at the beginning of September, but because Amazon didn't release a Barricade until October, Impactor and Mirage got held back for a whole month. And so I'm got a sneaking feeling in the back of my mind that Amazon's going to change their mind at the last minute and do the same thing with Eight Face and wait until late December to release him at the same time as Astro Train and also Spinister and Crosshairs and get released. So time will tell at this point. I still have 2 weeks before Eight Face supposedly gets sent out. But I do have some money on Amazon right now on my Amazon Prime account, but I'm trying to decide whether or not if Nightbird is worth it. Everyone who I've been telling I'd get the Generation Selects Nightbird toy, they said since I do have the Takara Tomy exclusive toy of Nightbird that was released in Takara Tomy's Transformers Legends toy line, that I should that there's no reason for me to get it the Generation Selects version of Nightbird. Autocorrect Primer, welcome. So I mentioned you earlier, Autocorrect Primer. So I had said that I got in the same catalog as you and Nikki got from Amazon. So there's that missing sticker I was telling you about that was missing on your copy. That sticker right over there. Here. So if you and Nikki have been wondering what does the sticker look like that you had missing from your book, then it was that one right there. There, a palm tree with an Amazon Christmas present at the base of it. Okay, so without further delay, hey, I can't believe it's already 7 minutes into the video and I haven't actually started the review, what it's based on. So without further delay, here is the Transformers Generation Selects Deluxe Voyager class. I just call it Deluxe, but this is Voyager class Red Wing, released exclusively through Target. Red Wing has been the for many Transformers fans, Red Wing has proven to be the most difficult. There's his instruction sheets, there's the inside of his box, and many Transformers fans have been saying that out of all the Transformers toys that have been released in the Generation Selects toy line, that Red Wing has been the most difficult out of all of them to obtain, and there's a good reason for that. Red Wing is not just an exclusive toy to Target stores. The only way to get Red Wing is if you have what Target calls their store RedCard. And when I looked into the RedCard, all right, it's a credit card that only works for products that are being sold by Target stores. And basically, when I debated to myself about whether or not for applying for a Target RedCard, I realized it really wasn't worth it for Red Wing just to, apply for a gift card just to get a $30 toy. So I originally gave up any hope of getting Red Wing for myself, and so that's when I was surprised when last week Larkin's Lair, shout out to him, friend of the channel and subscriber and fellow Transformers fan, Larkin's Lair, he told me that he was going to send me a Transformers toy. He didn't tell me what it was. He wanted me to be surprised, and he the main reason Larkin's Lair sent me Red Wing is because folding his box back up, but right here on this copy of Red Wing, something punctured his box and made a hole in it, and so that's the main reason Larkin's there decided to give it to me, because he knows that I'm a Transformers toy collector, and I hardly keep any of my Transformers toys inside the boxes. I do take them out, and so Larkin's Lair, he told me that since I was going to take Red Wing out of his box the moment I got him, that he had no problem sending it to me. He didn't tell me that it was Red Wing, and he didn't give me any hints as to what Transformers toy he was sending me. So thank you, Larkins, there so much for giving me Red Wing, because the only other option I would have had of getting Red Wing was ordering him from Amazon.com. And basically, Red Wing, he's being scalped right now at Amazon.com. The cheapest Red Wing's going for is $80, which is the same price tag as the other Target store exclusive toy to the Siege line, which is the Rainmakers 3-pack. So unfortunately, Red Wing has been really hard to obtain for most people. Autocorrect Primer says that he looks so cool. He does, Autocorrect Primer. Yeah. Autocorrect Primer says, this is so cool. Everyone in this group has made my day. Has made my day every day. Thank you, Autocorrect Primer, so much for that. 2 thumbs up to you from me. David Hill says, his copy of Red Wing, the box was all smashed up, but luckily the figure was undamaged. Same here, David Hill. Box was damaged, but Red Wing himself, he's doing pretty fine. So without further delay, let's try and get him freed from his plastic prison cell, is what I call it when I'm taking a Decepticon out of its packaging. Alrighty, so apparently Red Wing, even though this is the first ever toy of him that's officially been released, he actually, I think he was created originally 2 years ago, I want to say. He wasn't created this year. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with who Red Wing is, apparently before I did this review, I read up on his Wikipedia page, and because Red Wing is a recently created Transformers character, there isn't much information on him right now. See if I can get him out of here. Okay, is that all it is? Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, give me a break. Okay, so that's the way it is. Okay, got that out of the way. Alrighty, so David Hill says, yes, release the beast. I'm trying to, David Hill, but unfortunately, Hasbro imprisoned him with really strong chains. At least they're strong by the standards of human fingers. Is that it? Oh, okay, they looped it through the middle of his torso in that gap. Setting those rubber bands off to the side. Is there anything else holding Red Wing in? I don't think so. Alrighty, finally. Alright, so now that he has been released properly, getting his feet and legs straightened out. Alright, and so here is Red Wing in all his splendor and glory. He really is nice looking. Pretty much, as far as being special, apart from his mostly red and white paint job, pretty much the most special thing Red Wing has going for him is that he has the alternate Seeker head sculpt that was used on Thundercracker, where instead of a more neutral face, he has like an evil smile on his face. And a lot of Transformers fans, when Thundercracker was released, a lot of Transformers fans said that the alternate Seeker face ace that has the evil smile on it, that it was more appropriate for Starscream than Thundercracker. So I actually, when I got Thundercracker, I switched Thundercracker and Starscream's faces. So for me personally, in my Siege Seekers collection, Red Wing now has the same face as Starscream. David Hill says he's either G.A. Bill Evil's mascot or Armada Starscream in disguise, lol. That is something that some Transformers fans have been pointing out that the most famous Decepticon jet, who was mostly red with white highlights, is in fact the version of Starscream from Transformers Armada. And for any of you wondering, is Red Wing based on the Armada version of Starscream redone as a Generation 1 Decepticon Seeker jet? It might surprise you that the answer to that fan theory is no. I'll explain why in just a few seconds. I just want to catch up on the live stream chat. David Hill says, unofficially, you can take a Transformers Prime Starscream and repaint it and have Slipstream. That is true, David Hill. Prime Starscream does have Slipstream's body proportions. Autocorrect Primer says, Generations, was that released here in the States or just in Japan? And David Hill is right, Autocorrect Primer. The Generations toy line, for some reason, Takara Tomy and Hasbro, even though they've released the same toys with in the past with different paint jobs, they would sometimes change the different toy lines for the same figures and Slipstream was released in the Legends toy line. The line same as Nightbird, the toy I was talking about earlier. Now, for those of you wondering, how did Red Wing come to get created? Well, apparently, it's according to what I read on his Wikipedia page, the main reason Red Wing was created and he now exists is because of some disputes and lack of communication between four, I don't know what the word to use is, four companies, I guess would be one word to use, but basically, the reason Red Wing was created was because of a lack of communication and wanting to avoid creating the same Transformers character with different appearances and identities at the same time. But it was lack of communication between Hasbro, Takara Tomy, Fun Publications, which was the comic publishing company that held the rights to the Transformers comic books that were released through BotCon and the official Transformers convention, and also eHobby Shop, which is a distributor of exclusive Takara Tomy Japanese released Transformers toys. Now, I can't remember exactly how it was on Red Wing's Wikipedia page, but apparently Fun Publications, they had wanted to release a toy of Sunstorm through BotCon one year, but apparently eHobby Shop, they had already taken the Orange Seeker that Fun Publications wanted to release at BotCon and had turned it into the character of Sunstorm. But apparently Takara Tomy, when they released Sunstorm, they based him off of one of the four Decepticon Seeker Jets who appears in the very first episode of the Generation 1 cartoon, who are shown blocking Wheeljack and Bumblebee from getting back to Autobot headquarters. And after Hasbro learned that, when they wanted to release a toy of Sunstorm, because apparently Takara Tomy wanted to be the toy company that turned that used Sunstorm with his solid orange paint job, and that's why when you go to Wikipedia and you look at the first ever toy of Sunstorm that was released, it was released by eHobby Shop back in, I believe, 2002 or 2003. It was a straight up repaint of the original Generation 1 Starscream toy, and it was made of solid orange. And basically, when Hasbro decided to release a toy of Sunstorm in the United States, it's because Takara Tomy wanted Sunstorm to be an orange seeker. Hasbro decided to, in fact, make Sunstorm a yellowish orange seeker. So instead of being a solid orange the way, I'm trying to think of other Transformers characters that are solid orange. Solid orange the same way that Wheelie, the Generation 1 version of Wheelie was, or instead of being solid yellow the way Generation 1 Bumblebee was, Hasbro decided to come up with a shade of yellowish orange paint that was kind of a blend of both yellow and orange together. And when Sunstorm was introduced to Transformers fans and toy collectors here in the United States, because Sunstorm, instead of being solid orange, he was yellowish orange. There was some confusion amongst Transformers fans as to whether or not if Sunstorm was in fact the yellow Rainmaker seen in the Generation 1 cartoon episode. I forgot what the name of it was, but there was some confusion amongst Transformers fans as to whether or not if Sunstorm was one of the Rainmakers, and so it wasn't until very recently that Hasbro clarified that Sunstorm is not one of the three Rainmakers because he is in fact supposed to be the orange Decepticon Seeker Jet, not the yellow one, which Hasbro has now named in the Siege line Nova Storm. So, how did Red Wing come out of all of that? Well, apparently Fun Publications, they decided to release a comic book that featured some Seekers in one panel section, and the comic book artists, when they said Fun Publications, in order to avoid eHobby Shop and Takara Tomi's disputes about what shade of orange paint Sunstorm was supposed to be, Fun Publications decided to release a comic book featuring a Seeker that was reddish orange. And the comic book artists who actually drew in the colors in that comic panel, instead of doing reddish orange, they decided to just make the Seeker solid red. And a lot of Transformers fans who got a hold of that the Transformers fans who did manage to get a hold of that comic book, one of those fans in particular, and it actually says this on Red Wing's Wikipedia page, one particular Transformers fans kept pestering Fun Publications to say, what is the name of the red Decepticon Seeker Jet? And realizing that all this new Seeker had going for him was his red paint job, as seen here on his wings, they decided to name him Red Wing. And after that name was created and identified, Hasbro allowed Red Wing to be one of the characters featured in the mobile Transformers Earth Wars video game. And some Transformers fans took existing parts from some Creo Transformers in the Creon Microchange toy line, and they fan-made toys of Red Wing after that. And because of the very quickly established identity and name given to Red Wing, that's what led Hasbro ultimately to decide to release him as a repaint with the alternate evil smiling head sculpt of Siege Starscream in the Generation Selects toy line. And so, in case anyone was wondering, is Red Wing a recently created Transformers character, or rather, is he a brand new character created for the Siege/Generation Selects line? Red Wing is not a brand new character for the year 2019, but he is a fairly recently released Transformers character. Now, whether or not Red Wing will become popular enough amongst Transformers fans that he'll get the same rise to fame that Lockdown got after he was introduced to the Transformers franchise back in Transformers Animated in 2008, that remains to be seen. Me personally, I think Red Wing might not get the rise to fame that Lockdown enjoyed because he is just a Decepticon Seeker Jet. And as far as appearing in any Transformers cartoons, let me see if anyone else has let us talk in the live stream chat. David Hill and Autocorrect Primer, looking back and forth. Mr. V Games and Toys, hello there. Now, one last bit of information about Red Wing. Apparently, in one episode of the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon, Thrust has made an appearance during Transformers Cyberverse during the first season of the cartoon, but apparently the Red Seeker that was named Thrust, it didn't have the cone head, and at least one of the cone heads has appeared properly in the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon, Ramjet specifically. And so because the Seeker Jet in Transformers Cyberverse, who was named Thrust, was not a cone head and was a standard Seeker, Takara Tomy, when releasing the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon in Japan, in the Japanese dub of Transformers Cyberverse, instead of Thrust, the red Decepticon Seeker Jet is in fact named Red Wing. So in the Japanese version of Transformers Cyberverse, that is currently Red Wing's only appearance in a Transformers cartoon series. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the other Siege Seekers transformed into robot mode, but just for a quick robot mode size comparison, here is Red Wing next to the three Rainmakers for a size comparison in robot mode with some of the other Seekers. I don't have too many of my Transformers toys transferred into robot mode right now. The only ones I have on hand are the Power Dashers. So here is Red Wing next to Chromar. Here he is next to here's Red Wing next to Zatar. And the final Power Dasher, here is Red Wing next to Aragon. So there is Red Wing in a size comparison with some Transformers toys that are obscure Transformers characters like he is. Let's see, everyone's talking to each other. They're in the live stream chat. Okay. So moving on right now, I'll get Red Wing transformed into his alternate mode for you. Hopefully I can do it without messing it up. And I apologize, this whole time I just realized I had Red Wing mistransformed the whole time. In robot mode, his molded in engine thrusters are supposed to be folded around to his back. So I apologize for having him mistransformed this whole time. I had him, he was transformed the way he is in the box. I'm trying to remember if I'm doing this correctly or not. Is that the way they went? Yeah. Please bear in mind with me, it's been a while since I've transformed any of my Seeker toys. I keep them all transformed in jet mode right now because I've run out of shelving space for them. Okay, that's the way it goes. Does it actually clip in place? I hope it does. Okay. A lot of Transformers fans have been saying they love to see more of the Seekers repainted and released in the Transformers Earthrise toy line, since Starscream has been getting a toy in Wave 1 of the line. Me personally, I would love to see new toys of the Seekers, especially the 3 cone heads. I would love to see Thrust, Dirge, and Ramjet being given Voyager class toys in the Earthrise toy line. I'd also love to see Thundercracker, Starscream, and Thundercracker and Skywarp join Starscream as well. Whether or not we will be getting any more Seekers in the Earthrise toy line besides Starscream remains to be seen. But with Transformers fans making the argument that the Seekers are a great army building Decepticon Transformers, I think it would be a missed opportunity if Hasbro and Takara Tomy also were to decide to make Starscream the only Seeker released in the Earthrise toy line. As far as the other Seekers that have been released in the Siege line being given new toys in the Earthrise toy line, Red Wing here, and the 3 Rainmakers, Acid Storm, Nova Storm, and Ion Storm. I personally wouldn't mind if the only toys we get of these characters are the ones released in the Siege/Generation Selects line. The reason why I have no problem with the Rainmakers not being given toys in the Earthrise toy line is because they only appeared in the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon in their Cybertronian forms, and they never came to planet Earth. Earth. I wouldn't mind if Red Wing got a new toy in the Earthrise toy line, but it's just our luck that just like the Siege/Generation Selects version, that Red Wing gets released as a exclusive to Target, and instead of being released at mass retail. David, let's see. The Collector 75. Hello, welcome to you. I'm sorry I didn't notice you earlier. David Hill says, I think the Coneheads will come out in Earthrise, hopefully as a 3-pack. That would be interesting, David Hill. Although the question is, where would the 3-pack be exclusively released? So if anyone has never noticed this, I actually found this out years ago, but Transformers toys that are released as exclusives are the ones that are all box sets that contain multiple Transformers toys. And that basically there is no boxed set of Transformers toys that have been released at mass retail. The closest to box set Transformers toys being released at mass retail have been the Prime Masters from the Power of the Primes toy line and the Micro Masters that have been released in the Siege line. So if anyone has ever noticed that, if anyone who has never noticed that, Chicken Fried Steak, hello there. So for anyone who's never noticed that, Transformers toys that are released in box sets are the ones that end up getting released as exclusives. So I don't know if it's an official policy at Hasbro to say have box set Transformers toys not released at mass retail, but with what I've seen over the past few years after I found that out that Hasbro only tries to release individually packaged Transformers toys at mass retail, I kind of think it might be an official policy for Hasbro to do that. Mr. V Games and Toys saying hi to Chicken Fried Steak. Okay, so there's currently 5 people watching this live stream video review. So without further, now that I've caught up on the live stream chat, here's Red Wing transformed into his alternate mode of a Tetrajet. And it is pretty great, but again, Red Wing is one of 7 Transformers characters in this toy mold, and because he's a recently created Transformers character, pretty much Red Wing, the only claim to fame that he has to stand out from the other Decepticon Seeker Jets is the fact that he's has a mostly bright red paint job. And unfortunately, the title of Red Seeker is one that Thrust, one of the Coneheads, has enjoyed for years. So chances are likely that the only way Red Wing might be able to become a popular Transformers character is if Hasbro decides to ignore releasing toys of Thrust and the other Coneheads, Dirge and Ramjet, like they have been for the past several years. So for a quick size comparison, here is Red Wing next to the first toy mold, the first character to be done in this Siege Seeker mold, which is Starscream. And just like all of the other Seekers, Thundercracker, Skywarp, and the 3 Rainmakers, it's hard to tell because they're almost the same color as his red paint job, but the battle damaged marks that Starscream has all over him, such as those splotches there on that one wing, and then those 2 spots there at that side of his jet nose. All 7 of the Siege Seekers, including Red Wing, who is actually released in the Generation Selects line, but all 7 of the Siege Seekers have the exact same battle damage marks, and it's all in the exact same spot. Same size battle damage markings in the exact same places. Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, Red Wing, the 3 Rainmakers, Acid Storm, Nova Storm, and Ion Storm. It's the same battle damage marks on all of them. I apologize for my room lamp shining off on the toys. These angles, but yes. So with Red Wing, because the battle damage marks on him are almost the same shade of red as he is, it's just a slightly darker shade of red. His battle damage marks are the ones that are least prominent, but if you do look closely at them, they are the exact same as Starscream and all of the other Seekers. So it's almost as though the Seekers whenever they get into the battlefield and they get blasted by an opponent, they end up having the same exact battle damage marks. Now, it's come to my attention that some of the toys that have been revealed for release in the Transformers Earthrise toy line, they do have battle damage marks just like the toys in the Siege line, but they aren't as prominent as the toys released in the Siege line. So hopefully Red Wing, even though he's been available for several months now, hopefully Red Wing is a preview to the battle damage marks in the Earthrise toy line, and whatever the third segment of the Prime Wars trilogy is going. I'm sorry, not the Prime Wars trilogy. Whatever the third segment of the War for Cybertron trilogy is going to be named. Hopefully, the battle damage marks, if they continue to appear on Transformers toys, they won't be as prominently shown as the ones seen in the Siege line. So, catching up in the live stream chat. At David Hill, he's joking that if Hasbro would stop focusing on Windblade, then we could concentrate on getting more toys of Red Wing. Personally, David Hill, if I had to choose a Red Seeker to be given a new toy, it would be Thrust, along with the other cone heads. And the Collector 75 Toy Hack stickers could fix this up. Chicken Fried Steak saying hi to everyone. And Chicken Fried Steak, he looks cool, may have to snay. Thank you, my guess. Chicken Fried Steak, the only way to get Red Wing is if you sign up with Target's RedCard, which is basically a credit card for that only works for Target. Otherwise, if you don't want to get Target's RedCard, unfortunately, the only way to get Red Wing is to buy him off a scalper from other websites such as eBay and Amazon. And because of Red Wing's exclusivity, he's not only exclusive to Target stores the way the Rainmakers are, but because the only way to get Red Wing is if you sign up for Target's store card known as a RedCard. He is unfortunately the most difficult of all the Seekers to obtain, and he's the most difficult Transformers toy in the Generation Selects line to obtain, even more so than Star Convoy, in my opinion. And so, unfortunately, your options of getting Red Wing and adding him to your Transformers collection are sign up for Target's RedCard and you have another credit card, or to add to the amount of credit cards you have in your wallet. Or if you don't want to go that route, then you pay more. Then you pay 3 to 4 times Red Wing's price tag, and you buy him off a scalper from another website. And so because those are the only options for Red Wing, once again, shout out to Larkin's Lair. Thank you so much for sending me Red Wing as a gift. It is pretty great having him now. Now, unfortunately, Larkin's Lair, he lives in Hawaii, and unfortunately, the shipping rates for mail going out of California to Alaska and also Hawaii is more expensive than it is with the continental states. So instead of sending Larkin's Lair a thank you card with a handwritten note the way I have with my other subscribers, such as David Hill, Autocorrect Primer, and Chicken Fried Steak, I sent Larkin's Lair an email. I asked him if he said it, and he appreciated it. And speak of the bot, here is Larkin's Lair now. Hello, Larkin's Lair. So, actually, Larkin's Lair, I'm afraid I'm almost done with my review of the Transformers toy you sent me, Generation Selects, the Target RedCard exclusive Red Wing. So here he is transformed into his alt mode. So, Larkin's Lair, double thumbs up to you. Thank you so much once again for sending me Red Wing. And since Larkin's Lair is finally here, for a size comparison with another Seeker in alt mode, here is Red Wing next to Starscream. And again, Red Wing has the same battle damage marks. So unfortunately, all that Red Wing has going for him, because he's a fairly recently created Transformers character, all he has really going for him to make him stand out from the other Seekers is his predominantly red paint job. And this very bright, vibrant, solid red that Red Wing is made up on, I found out that in artistic terms, as far as the names of different shades of paint, this shade of bright solid red paint, officially it's known as cherry red. And I've seen that in every art supply store that I've gone to. This same shade of bright solid vibrant red is officially it's known as cherry red. and as far as color palettes and colored paint names go. Oh, so yes, Red Wing, he's a cherry red jet. In case anyone was wondering what exactly the name of this shade of red paint is supposed to be. So I just wanted to share that with everyone who didn't know. And Thrust, the Seeker I keep comparing Red Wing to, he's actually more of a dark crimson red. And because I keep naming him, see if I can get him out. Yes, I can get him out. So because I've been talking about him throughout the review, for another size comparison in his alt mode, here is Red Wing next to Thrust. And in fact, this right here, this is the original Transformers Generations Deluxe Class toy of Thrust. This toy was released 9 years ago in 2010, and this remains the last toy of Thrust. As far as I'm aware of, this is the most recently released toy of Thrust that Hasbro released in the United States. So having them side by side, this is an example of how Transformers toys have been downsized in recent years. Thrust is a Deluxe, Red Wing is a Voyager, yet side by side in jet mode, however way you look at them, they're the exact same length from the tip of the jet nose all the way to the back thrusters. So yes, unfortunately, Transformers toys have been downsized in recent years. When you turn them to the side, you can see how Red Wing has more bulk to him. But that's one thing I wasn't expecting, was that the classic Seeker mold that was originally released in 2006, or created in 2006, it's the same length as the Siege Seeker mold. And for those of you wondering why my copy of Generations Thrust, why he has 2 sets of the vertical takeoff thrusters, I actually did a video about that a while back. Oh, there he is. See if I can pull him out for you. So for a size comparison, because I've been talking about them and people in the live stream chat have been talking about them, but the reason why my copy of Thrust has 2 vertical takeoff thrusters was because, for another size comparison, here is Red Wing next to Classics Ramjet. And so my copy of Classics Ramjet, I found him at a used toy store. His wing sections were missing, as were his missile pods, and so the day I found Ramjet, Thrust was still being sold at stores, so I restored Ramjet as best as I could by giving him parts from Thrust. So he's one of my favorite custom Transformers toys. Larkin's there, he said in robot mode, Red Wing is taller than the classic Seeker mold, though. That is true, and part of that has to do with how the legs transform. Red Wing's legs, they extend out in a way that, even though the legs on the classic Seekers also extend, they don't extend as far as the Siege Voyager class Seeker mold does. But it does still amaze me that in jet mode, the classic Seekers are the same length as the Siege Seekers. And last but definitely by no means least, here's the third and final Conehead. Here is Red Wing in a size comparison with Dirge. So because the last toys of the Coneheads released were the Classic/Generations Deluxe Class toys, basically the last Conehead that was released by Hasbro was Generations Dirge. He was released back in 2011, and so a lot of Transformers fans are saying that the next group of Seekers who should be released in the Earthrise toy line are in fact the 3 Coneheads, Thrust, Dirge, and Amjet, also because the last toys of them were Deluxes, and now the size that everyone wants to see the Seekers done in is Voyager class. So I tend to agree with that. Autocorrect Primer, he has to go to bed, so good night, Autocorrect Primer. I hope you catch plenty of Z's. Let's see, everyone's saying good night to Autocorrect Primer. Okay, so, Larkin's there, even though you got on late, I did go over Red Wing quite a bit. It's so, in my opinion, as difficult as he is to get, if you do want to add Red Wing to your collection, then by all means get him. Again, the only reason I have Red Wing is because Larkin's there gave him to me as a surprise present, and once again, Larkin's there, I thank you for doing that. To be honest, I only recommend getting Red Wing if you absolutely want to have all 7 versions of the Siege Seeker mold. Larkin's there, he says he's got to go to bed too, and to be honest, I got to do the same. name Chicken Fried Steak is calling Larkin dumb man. I agree with that. Chicken Fried Steak with that statement. So this has been my review of the Transformers Generation Selects, aka Siege, Voyager class toy of Red Wing. Compared to the other Siege Seekers that have been released at Red Wing, because he was only created a few years ago, he's the most recently created Seeker character who's been given a name and identity. I'm trying to decide what my next Transformers review would be. For those of you who logged on late, I had some announcements at the beginning of the video, so I bought from Amazon.com a Generation Selects Lancer so I can finally complete my Orthea combiner. Some other announcements I had to make. Crimson Raptors, just like Larkin's there, he's sending me a Transformers toy as well. I asked him if he could give me a hint as to what Transformers toy it would be. The only hint he's given me is that, unlike the toy Larkin's there gave me, Red Wing, the toy that Crimson Raptors is sending me, it's not a toy that's been released in the Generation Selects line. I asked him if he could tell me what size class of toy it is, if it's a Battlemaster, a Micromaster, a Deluxe, a Voyager, a Leader, so on and so forth. Crimson Raptors, he told me that if he told me the size class of the toy that he's sending me is, then it would be a dead giveaway. So we'll see what it is. According to the notification I got that Crimson Raptors sent me, the toy that he's giving to me as a gift, it should be here by Wednesday. Who knows if it'll turn up tomorrow, but if it doesn't come until Wednesday, that's fine. So at this point, only Crimson Raptors knows the toy that he's sending me. And also, one last notification I did at the start of the video that I shared. Autocorrect Primer did a video review on this. Yes, but apparently, Amazon.com, apparently they've gotten a lot of toys in stock for the Christmas shopping season for the current year 2019, and so they actually sent out a advertising magazine showing all the what are considered the hot and popular toys for the 2019 shopping season. And I actually saw this at my local Target on Saturday when I went to get the Rainmakers, but one of the new Lego Star Wars sets is a statue of Yoda. So yes, Amazon.com, apparently, since they've gotten so many toys in stock, they want to be the ones to put a smile on your face for Christmas this year. Yeah. So thank you guys all so much for tuning into live stream chat. Autocorrect Primer, Larkin's Lair, David Hill, Chicken Fried Steak, the Collector 75. Who else logged into live stream chat? Mr. V Games and Toys. So thank you guys all so much for stopping into live stream chat. Oh no, Ninja Bill 1000. I'm afraid you just came. I'm afraid you're saying hello just when I was about to start saying goodbye. Okay, everyone, so since Ninja Bill 1000, he's been a good friend of the channel. Ninja Bill 1000, I just about wrapped up doing a review on Red Wing. I also gave some announcements. I only recommend getting Red Wing if you don't mind applying for Target's RedCard, since that's the only way to get Red Wing. Or if you don't want to do that, the only other option of getting Red Wing is to buy him from a scalper on other websites such as Amazon or eBay. Okay, so Ninja Bill 1000, since you just came onto live stream chat, for a size comparison in jet mode, here is Red Wing next to Thrust, and a lot of Transformers fans have been comparing Red Wing to Thrust because they're both red Decepticon jets, but fortunately they're both different shades of red. Thrust is a crimson red, and I found out the shade of red plastic that's used here on Red Wing. The actual name of this shade of red is known as cherry red. So there he is next to Thrust. Here is Red Wing next to Ramjet. And finally, here is Red Wing next to Dirge. So a lot of Transformers fans have been saying that the Coneheads should be the next group of Seekers to be released in the Transformers Earthrise toy line. A lot of Transformers fans are saying that the upcoming Earthrise toy of Starscream, because as the way the Earthrise toy of Starscream transforms, it's it's similar enough to the Generation 1 toys that the head sculpt can be retooled into a cone head, and so a lot of Transformers fans are already pointing out that the Seekers they want released in the Earthrise toy line are the cone heads, Thrusters, and Ramjet. Catching up in the live stream chat. David Hill is asking me, Tia Fangi, will you be swapping parts on the Seekers to make customs? No, David Hill, not at this point. And I won't be part swapping being the Seeker Jets. Part of the reason for that is because I've been on a really restrictive budget with my Transformers toys the past few months, and so instead of buying up every Transformers toy that I want, I've had to systematically choose which Transformers toys I want to get, and so that's one reason why I've been beyond thrilled that Larkin's Lair decided to give me Red Wing, because I honestly thought Red Wing was going to be one of the Transformers toys that I would never be able to add to my collection. It's been the same thing with other Transformers toys that I've bought and sold with my subscribers. I'm really thankful to Input that he sent me a Siege Ratchet last week. Let's see. Ninja Bow 1000 says he hopes that Hasbro does release new toys of Thrusters and Ramjet, since the last toys of them were released in the movie lines. Chicken fried steak, he has a robot emoji. Ninja Bill 1000 says Thrusters and Ramjet. He says cursed beer vision and coordination skills. David Hill says he wants to get Siege Ratchet, but he can't find it. Ninja Bill 1000 says Siege Ratchet is dope. Alrighty, and so basically I can't think of what else to say. For those of you who managed to stay with the video this long, I apologize if it seems bland and boring, or if I didn't go over any information that you would have wanted to hear. Here, I will say this: the way Red Wing was created and introduced to the Transformers franchise, Ninja Bill 1000, since you missed it, the reason why Red Wing was created was because it was lack of miscommunication between Hasbro, Takara Tomy, Fun Publications, and also eHobby Shop. And apparently, between all four of them, Hasbro and Takara Tomy, and also Fun Publications and eHobby Shop, apparently a few years ago they were going back and forth as to which Transformers, as far as I just lost my train of thought for a second. I apologize, everyone. Basically, all four of them were going back and forth about which paint jobs should be given to subsequent Decepticon Seeker Jets made from Starscream, and which names and identities would be given to the various colored Seeker Jets that they would come out. And so apparently, when eHobby Shop and Takara Tomy decided to create the character of Sunstorm, they wanted him to be orange, and Fun Publications had already wanted to try and create an orange Decepticon Seeker Jet after Takara Tomy and eHobby Shop agreed to create Sunstorm. And so Fun Publications, they decided to make their Decepticon Seeker Jet. Instead of making him orange, they made him red. And apparently the name Sunstorm was the name of a Seeker that Hasbro had wanted to apply to a purple Decepticon Seeker. Don't ask me how that happened. And so basically Hasbro decided to change the name to Hot Link, and basically names were exchanged and different colored paint jobs were exchanged as Hasbro, Takara Tomy, Fun Publications, and eHobby Shop all tried to work out which names and identities and which paint jobs would be given to which brand new Seekers. And so, at the end of the day, Fun Publications decided to create a comic book in which a red Seeker Jet had appeared, and so they decided to name him Red Wing after being unable to come up with a more elaborate name for him. And so, that's how Red Wing came to exist. I'm unsure at this point if Hasbro will decide to create more Decepticon Seeker Jet characters, or if they'll just focus on releasing new toys of the Decepticon Seeker Jet characters that have already been established due to the trouble surrounding Red Wing when he was created. Chicken Fried Steak, he's asking me, which mode will I display Red Wing in? To be honest, Chicken Fried Steak, for now, I'm going to display Red Wing here in his jet mode. And partially that has to do with the fact that another reason why I've been watching which Transformers toys I buy and add to my Transformers collection is because this has happened several times in the years I've been collecting Transformers toys, but I've actually run out of room again. Moving my camera up so you guys can see. As you can see, half of my Transformers toys I keep in storage bins transformed into their alt modes. And a few months ago, I actually had to take some of my Transformers toys out into my family's garage, the ones I wasn't really playing with. Basically, my room has more Transformers toys stuffed into it than it was originally built for. Chicken Fried Steak, his most recent comments, he says, do you display bots by series and size? Does it matter? Or whatever. Chicken Fried Steak, when I started collecting Transformers toys, I tried to group my Transformers toys by the toy line they were released. The reason why I have on my shelf in robot mode those Transformers toys, those are the ones from the 3 Transformers Unicron trilogy lines, Armada, Energon, and Cybertron. And the reason why those get the honor of being displayed in robot mode on my shelf is because those were the first Transformers toys that I bought. Let's see. Ninja 1000 says the whole crosstalk between so many companies can get confusing. Yes, Ninja Bill, it can be confusing, and that confusion is what led to the creation of Red Wing. David Hill says, I think Marvel have issue with Red Wing's name since Falcon's bird drone is called Red Wing as well. That's true, David Hill. But of course, in the past there have been different comic book companies that have used the exact same name for completely different characters. Ninja 1000 says, yeah, I got the same problem. Need to clear up the spare bedroom here. Or make it into a display room for my additional Transformers. Ninja 1000, I wish you luck with that. Mr. V. James and Kames is asking, do you have SHF stands you can peg them in the Seekers to display like that? Mr. V Games and Toys, if you're asking me that, no, I don't have any display stands that other Transformers fans have been buying up and selling. I've checked Amazon for years to see if any of those display stands were on sale, and they are not. And in recent years, on the bottom of Transformers toys, there's Red Wings. Hasbro has been giving Hasbro and Takara Tomy at the factory. They've been molding in holes for those display stands for Transformers toys, especially the ones who turn into jets and can fly. But unfortunately, I don't have any of those stands, so I won't be displaying them anytime right now in the near future. David Hill says he found some nice cheap stands on AliExpress for his toys. David Hill, congratulations on that. Okay, Mr. V Games and Toys, he was asking me. So no, I don't have any display stands for any of my Transformers who turn into jets. Years ago when I was a little kid, I did own some display stands from the Star Wars toys I collected. But for some reason, in my mind when I was a kid, I didn't really have a thing for the display stands because I like to play with the ships and have them flying around and holding them in my hands. And so when I was a kid, I basically played with my toys a whole lot. And it's only now as an adult I realize the importance of what those display stands were. I still have some of the Star Wars toys I had when I was a kid. My favorite Star Wars toys to collect were toys of the spaceships, but the display stands that they came packaged with, I didn't really see any play value in them, and so I got rid of them one day several years ago. Ninja 1000 says he picked up a few of those stands from TF Source. He says my best bet, and if I ever wanted to get those stands, is either TF Source or BigBagToyStore.com. So for me personally, I'm not really bothered that I don't have any display stands for my Transformers toys. It hasn't really bothered me. When I actually started collecting Transformers toys with the Armada line back in 2003, the mentality that Hasbro and Takara Tomy had, the toy designers had, was to have the Transformers toys, even the ones that didn't have actual wheels. The mentality was to give the toys at least some leverage of wheels on them so that they could roll around on a flat surface, even the ones that were intended to fly. And if you actually look at the Transformers Armada toy line, the only Transformers toy mold from the Armada line that didn't actually have wheels on the bottom to roll around on a flat surface was the deluxe class toy of Cyclonus. All the other toys, including the Jets, Starscream, and Thrust, and also Jetfire, did have some type of small wheels so that they could roll around on a flat surface. And so that was the mentality that the toy manufacturers had at the time was the toys, if it's a vehicle, even if it's one that can fly, it has to have wheels. So if children live in a space where, or if they have or if their parents don't really like to have their kids have the toys flying around in the air with their hands, then the mentality toy manufacturers had during the early 2000s was, let's give the toy wheels so that the toys can play with it on a flat surface and be safe that way. Yeah, everyone's talking to each other. Ninja Bundan says, I know Big Toy Store carries quite a good selection. I think Entertainment Earth does as well. No, I might look into it, Ninja Bill 1000, but again, I don't really know if I'll be able to buy anything off of those websites. Some people talking to each other in live stream chat. Okay, just looking at that. Alrighty, so I apologize for you guys who are talking to each other in the live stream chat, but for me personally, it's 10:30 at night where I live, and so got a big day tomorrow. Got to get up early and have to move some outdoor furniture. Chicken Fight says, Steaky says 3-pack goodness because I brought out the box for the Rainmakers. At this point, I don't know if I'll do a review on the Rainmakers because I did a group video review of Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp in the same video, and I've done a video of Red Wing here, and so since it's much the same mold, I don't know if I'm going to do a video review of the 3 Rainmakers. I don't think it's worth it because I've already looked at this mold 4 times. I don't know what my next Transformers toy review will be. It just might be when the toy that Crimson Raptors is sending me gets here on Wednesday. I might make that my next video review. I don't know if I should even do a review on Lancer or not because she's the same. She's basically the fifth mold of a toy mold that's been used 6 times on 6 Transformers toys. Mr. Vigi Games and Toys, he says he's owned the Rainmakers for a while and he still hasn't opened them yet. That's true, Mr. Vigi Games and Toys. I find myself with the same problem. Last few years, whenever I buy a Transformers toy, I usually wait a week or sometimes a month before I take them out of the box. One Transformers toy that I'm still deciding if I should take it out of the box or leave it in there is Ectotron. I got him back in July for my birthday, and apparently it's been announced that Ectotron is going to be given a second release in November for Christmas, so Transformers fans and Ghostbusters fans who missed out on Ectotron when he was first released, if you want to get Ectotron for Christmas, then he's apparently going to be given a second release, and unlike the first release where he was $50, the second release of Ectotron that's happening in December is going to only be $40, so unfortunately on Amazon.com, I've only seen scalpers offering Ectotron for $70, $80, $100 plus dollars. The main reason I've kept Ectotron inside his box is because as the person who saw it, when I explained to them the style of the packaging and everything around Ectotron, they said that I should keep Ectotron inside his box. So I've been debating ever since that day if I should just take Ectotron out of his box or if I should see if I could possibly get a second copy of him, one to keep in the box and one to open and take out. So far, my prospects of getting a second copy of Ectotron aren't that great. And as I said before, my prospects of getting Red Wing were slim to nil until Larkin's Lair decided to bless me with giving him to me. Ninja 1000, he says, thanks for sticking around a bit for me, TFangy. Much appreciated. Mr. V Games and Toys, he said that he's owned the Seekers for the last 3 to 4 months and he's still unsure about opening them. I've had that problem too, Mr. V Games and Toys. In fact, the other Transformers toy I got for my birthday back in July, I still haven't opened. So I think I might make that toy my next Transformers review. But let me know what you guys think. It's hard to see him right now because I have some Transformers toys sitting on him, but I still have my Siege Jetfire in his box, so maybe later on this week, if I have the time, I'll make Jetfire my next Transformers review. I've been saying to all my subscribers and their video reviews of toys in the Siege line that whenever anyone's asked me what are my 3 favorite toys in the Siege line, I've said that Jetfire is my #1 toy, even though he's still inside his box. So maybe later than this week, I'll open up Jetfire finally and release him from his cardboard stasis pod and do a review of him. David Hill says, what? You have to open Jetfire and play with him now. Okay, David Hill, I'll take that into consideration. But it's not peer pressure, mind you. Chicken Fried Steak, he says, the Rainmakers look cool inside their box. That is true, Chicken Fried Steak. I have noticed that even though they're placed in somewhat generic standing positions, the way they're displayed, especially with Ion Storm being slightly lower than Acid Storm and Nova Storm, it is a cool enough display that it has enticed Transformers fans to get the Rainmakers from Target. Alright, so I've said it before, but I'm definitely mean it now. My voice is starting to fail me, everyone, and I gotta wake up early tomorrow. So since no one else is logged into live stream chat, this has been a review of Transformers Generation Select's Red Wing, but it's also turned into a live stream discussion with other information. Mr. V Games and Toys, he says he likes all 7 of the Siege Seekers. He even has the Target 10 M-Pack. I do too as well, Mr. V Games and Toys, although I did open up that one. So thank you guys all so much for tuning in. This has been the TFan Geek. The main focus of this video was a review of the Generation Select's Voyager class toy of Decepticon Red Wing. I do recommend getting him if you want him, but if you're unsure about him, then he's an easy pass. He was for me, so thank you once again, Larkins there, for sending him to me. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Let's see, before I officially sign off, Ninja 1000, he says, David Hill mentioned, and he agrees that maybe I should review Lancer as my next mode, but use it in combined mode with the other fembots and do a review of Arthea. I'll see what my next Transformers toy review will be. Hopefully it will be later on this week, but no guarantees at this point. Thank you guys all so much, and please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as Ninja 1000 says, please smash the like button. Thank you guys all so much, and have a great day. Transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.